is Tariq Talk. Your host, Tariq Mendez, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tariq Talk.
Alright guys, hello. Today I'm in Mena Contemporary with Heidi Kirkeby did I get that right, Heidi?
Yes, almost.
Yeah, almost. Sorry. Would you mind telling us the correct way to pronounce? My apologies.
Well, in English, I suppose we could say Heidi Kirkeby.
Kirkeby, yeah. It's a beautiful name. I love that name. And we are at the ESKFF residency program. Thank you so much for being here today with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know you have the opening reception coming up, so thank you for making the time to meet with me. I'm very grateful. Right now we're in her studio, and I can't wait for you guys to see with all the videos and pictures I'm going to take and share. It's beautiful, especially her shoes. I love how her shoes has paint splashes on it. Very, very cool.
I splash everywhere.
Yes, no, I love that. I love like the small details. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, yes, I am Norwegian. I live in Oslo, and I have my studio there. And well, I'm a visual artist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a painter.
Mm-hmm. An amazing one at that, I must say. It's beautiful work. Because, you know, I saw your work on pictures and videos, but it never does the justice. And I love the energy. It's so, like, fluid and free, and it really captures the viewer. Like, it sucks you in almost, and, like, it takes you, like, you know, it feels like I'm in a dream. I don't know how to describe. Like, you know, like the peace. I feel a lot of peace when I fly. Mm-hmm. And seeing your paintings give me, like, that tranquility, that relaxation, you know what I mean, like that deep breath. So it's really beautiful.
Because that's something I really tried to make. I tried to paint atmospheres.
Oh, okay.
There are nature abstractions, but the atmospheres are the most important things to me. And then you can feel different kinds of atmospheres when you see the paintings.
Beautiful. I love that.
I can feel them, and the viewer will see different things, depending on what their experience.
And do you like hearing like feedback on your work? Like, is that something you like, or you kind of avoid? Because a lot of artists, like, they don't want to hear anything, and they also don't like constructive criticism. But some people love, you know, what the viewer and the experience that they have with the art. Are you like, is that something you look forward to, like hearing what people see and what they feel like when seeing your artwork?
Yes, I like people telling me what they see, and you know, to be a better painter, you always need to hear the negative things as well,
yes,
and
that's
maybe
true.
try to do better
Yes.
the next time. So
yes.
It's better that people say what they really think, and then you can appreciate it when they say something positive as well, if you know they are telling what they really feel.
Absolutely. And what's your creative process like?
Well, if you think about my inspiration, is that what you're thinking about? Yes. Well, obviously it's the nature. That's the most inspiring thing for me. So I do a lot of photos, and I get inspiration from wherever I am.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
also from other artists, and from going to museums and galleries. And
so that was actually. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm really focused on the colors.
Mm-hmm.
They are very important to me. So I start by blending the colors to try to make some decisions of what I'm going to make. But after that, the process is really free. I try to do the paintings in an intuitive way, to just let it flow and not think too much. And when it comes to a point, I have to start thinking and to find out what to keep and what to paint over. So it results in many layers of painting.
I definitely get the vibe, like, as I said, like, it's very peaceful. It also reminds me of, like, people's auras, you know, like, the energy around their body. That's the vibe I get. And you mentioned, like, taking pictures. So when you're in nature, are you, like, taking pictures of everything and then coming into the studio and painting that?
I do the pictures, but I don't paint exactly what I have been photographing, but it's a kind of photo to remember what I saw, and I never paint the same But
Yeah.
it's a kind of inspiration in colors and composition, and then it turns out to be something completely else.
Got it. And do you find yourself like always thinking, or are you able to like be in the moment and enjoy like being in nature and going to museums, or is your mind like always thinking about like the next piece of art you're going to make?
Well, I am in the moment, but in some place in back of the mind, I always try to.
Are you able
store
to
the
like
things I
balance
want.
both? Because I'm
Yes.
always thinking like I wish I could like step back and relax. I'm always like thinking the next art, the next piece that I want to do. Like, are you able to like separate that and be like, okay, this is I'm going to relax and enjoy this, and then when I'm in the studio, create?
Yeah, well, I think I can relax in the nature, and to paint nature abstractions is also a way to highlight the value of nature in today's hectic society. Because I think we need that calm and that we can feel when we are out in the nature.
And I have to say, you have such good energy. I was just stuck in traffic, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be late to our interview. And just like your paintings, like as soon as I got here, very peaceful, very relaxed, and I was like, okay, let me calm down, let me chill, let me relax, you know. So I love it, like, because you know, a lot of times, sometimes the art doesn't really, like, you can't really connect the artist and the art because they're so different, you know what I mean? But you are so much like your art. It's so peaceful, chill, relaxing, and inviting. So thank you again for having me in your beautiful space.
Thank you.
And then, are you an artist that likes to create in the morning or nighttime? Like, do you have a preference, or whenever inspiration comes to you?
Well, I usually paint in daytime while others go to work, so then I can be with family and friends in the evening. So I'm not that kind of artist painting all night and sleeping in the day. I have regular
regular
hours.
life.
Yes, I like that.
Oh, that's amazing balance. And are you like when you get stuck, and let's say like you don't have any good ideas in the moment, how are you able to like go through that and kind of get inspired again to start creating?
Well, the painting is very frustrating from times to times, because sometimes you don't manage to do what you want.
Yeah.
But I have a creative diary where I write things, I paint colors, I cut out things, I put in there. So when I need some new ideas, I go back and look in my diary to find things, and I find something that can be used that I have collected years ago.
Yeah.
And also, I just have to start.
Yeah.
Just have to blend some colors and then start, and then it happens.
Do you have like a big archive that sometimes you go back to get inspired and redo things?
Well, as I told you, I have this creative diary that I use, and I also sometimes paint over my old paintings.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because I don't like them that much any longer.
Yeah.
And I think I can see something new I can do with them, and then there are new layers and layers over that again.
Oh, wow.
So they become something new.
I like that, because I've interviewed previous artists where they tell me, including myself, like if I paint something I don't like it, I just throw it out, you know. But how does that work for you? Like when you're creating and it's not the way you planned it to be, do you put it to the side, or do you like start new, or you kind of push yourself to finish that?
Well, very often they turn out not to be what I anticipated. And sometimes I am surprised what I have made because I didn't think it would be like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes that turns out good, and other times it doesn't. So then when I feel a little stuck, I have to put it aside, and I can go watching it for many weeks before I know what to do.
Oh, wow. That's very nice. And you mentioned you go to museums. Is that something that you do a lot, like going to galleries and going to museums for fun?
Yes, I do that a lot. And now, especially when I'm here in New Jersey and New York, I've decided to study the art of Helen Frankenthaler.
Oh, wow.
So I have been to museums, and then I've also been to the Frankenthaler Foundation.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen a lot of her art, and I have read about her, and I used the inspiration from her art during this residency to make my own paintings.
And you mentioned your creative journal, like your creative diary. Do you keep that with you as you walk? Like you go to museums and like live your life and write down ideas, or it's just like it's like in the studio for you?
No, it's in the studio.
It's in the
because
studio.
It's, I have a big book. It's too big to
carry
around.
I can imagine.
I find my only small one here.
I see that. And do you keep like all of them? Like as soon as they're finished and there's no more space, do you keep all of them?
Oh yes.
Oh
I
wow,
do.
that's so cool. And like what's the earliest one you have? Like the first one, like around the year.
Well, sorry, what did you?
Like what was the first one you did? Like what year was the first one that you have? Like one of your creative journals.
Oh, that must have been some 15 years ago or something.
Wow.
The first
That's
creative
amazing.
diary, yeah.
That takes a lot of discipline. Good job.
But
I
I'm
love
not
that.
writing it every day. It's just
When you get the
when I have some
inspiration, yeah.
inspirational ideas I want to write down or to paint or
Yeah.
sketch.
Oh well. And going back to your creative process, are you an artist that when you're creating, do you like to hear people's input while you're creating, or do you prefer like once you're finished with the painting to hear like constructive criticism, whether it's good or bad?
Well, I work in a space where we are many artists, so we do comment each other's works, but of course when you're in the middle of something and you know this is not what it's going to be, then criticism is not very useful because it's going to be something else.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait for the criticism till you feel now I don't know what more to do.
Oh wow, that's
and
very
I
nice.
reached a level where I need some advice.
I like that. I like that. And I noticed that all the paintings hanging in your studio, they're not framed. Is that because you're gonna roll them up and take them back home with you?
Yes, it is.
Very smart. Very
Because
smart.
I like to paint them on frames.
Yeah.
So you see, some of them have frames, but when I'm here, I have to take the canvases off the frames and
So-
then put on a new one.
And you said you like to paint them on frames, or you prefer
Yes,
like
on
the wall
frames
on
because
frames?
the canvas gets a little curly and bent.
Oh, I understand.
And,
Yes.
I need to have it stretched.
Oh, I like that. That's very
And you
cool.
see, I paint flat.
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh, that was actually going to be my next question.
Yeah.
When you're painting, are you standing up, are you sitting down, or are you painting the paintings on the floor?
Mostly I paint them on a table, on a big table.
Uh-huh.
Because I have to paint them flat because I use a lot of water.
Oh.
And then it's flowing over. And if I have them up on the wall, it will be just pouring down, and I cannot control what happens.
Oh, wow. That's an amazing technique. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, but right now this is on the floor because the stretching bars were so bad, so it bends in all directions.
Oh, I
so
see.
I had to put some stones on top of it
Yes,
to make it
to hold the weight.
lie
Yeah,
flat.
I understand what you mean. And do you have a preference? Like, what's your go-to medium? Do you prefer like oil, acrylic?
I use acrylics.
Acrylic. Okay.
Mm.
Very nice. I see a lot of people. Is that because it's much easier, as you said, to use with the water to get like all the dimensions that you like and textures?
Well, it's easier to work with because of there are no toxic.
Yeah. And it dries much faster.
And it dries much faster.
Yeah.
So, well, when I started at art school, that's what we all had to do
Mhm.
because they didn't have any good.
Oil, yeah.
What do you call it? Air conditioning, or what do you call it when you get the air to be shifted out?
I'm not sure. What do you mean? Sorry.
Well, no, we couldn't
Okay.
use the oil there, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I started with it, and I have just
You
continued
loved it,
because
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm a big. I prefer acrylic too, much more. It's more free. You know, you have more freedom. You're not like, because oil has so many rules that you have to follow.
Yeah, but I like the gloss you get from the oil. So
The oil,
now
yeah.
I actually put on some gloss on some of these paintings. I borrowed some gloss from one of the artists here at
Oh, wow.
Nana to just try it out.
Oh,
Then
that's
it
so
looks a little
sweet.
more like oil when you have
Yeah.
this gloss on.
And do you like being able to like be in this residency program, ESKFF, where you can like kind of like talk to other people and have like that creative community? Are you a big fan of that?
Yes, I really like that.
Mhm.
And that's one of the important things well, I'm here to get inspiration from other artists to see what they are doing and to hear about their process and maybe get some feedback on what I am doing.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And do you find yourself, like, sometimes when you're painting, like when you're painting, are you painting in the quiet? Are you listening to music? Like, do you have the TV on? What's that like process like for you?
Well, I like having some music. That's here where we are many people in the same room. We can't do that. So I miss that because in my studio at home I always have music. Yeah.
And what kind of genre do you like of music? Like jazz, rock?
Well, yeah, some jazz, some like calm jazz.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I love jazz. And do you sometimes feel like, depending on the music, and not just your mood, but like the music you're listening to, that can like influence the outcome of your painting?
Yes, it can actually.
Yeah,
it can. So I have to have some music that suits to what I'm doing.
Oh, I like that. And like, what's the next step for you? Where do you see yourself after this residency program at Mana Contemporary?
Well, I'm going back to Norway, obviously, where I live, and well, I hope I can paint my whole life. I really love painting, and I'll have a solo show at my gallery in December. So then I'll probably show a lot of these paintings I've made here.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you mind telling us your Instagram just so people can like look at the work? Because I get a lot of like questions about the podcast where I normally wait till the very end to talk about the Instagram and the socials, but now people have been saying, say the socials first so we can like look at the artwork while we're listening to the podcast. So do you mind sharing with us your Instagram handle?
Yes, it's Heidi Jahr Kirkeby.
Okay. Do you mind spelling that for us? Because it's a little complicated.
Yes, it's HeidiJahr.
Perfect.
Kirkeby.
Perfect.
It's a little long.
No, but that's good. It makes you stand out. And do you mind sharing your website as well, please?
Yes, that's HeidiKirkeby.no.
Okay, perfect.
And there you can find my Instagram as well.
Perfect. Yeah, that might be a little easier, right? And are you open to any commissions? Because I had a few previous artists. Once the podcast went live, other people were like reaching out to me to ask them. So I kind of like to put the info of the artist so they can directly reach out to you. Are you open to commissions? Like if somebody wants to message you and they want like a special painting for their loved one for special like holiday or season, are you open to a commission?
Yes, I could be open for that. Yes,
yeah,
that would be nice.
It's always good, right? And then how early in your career, like in your life, did you know you wanted to be an artist?
Well, actually, I've always wanted to be an artist, but I studied economics.
Wow!
I have a master in economy.
That's amazing.
When I was an adult, I started to study art. So.
And did you always find yourself, like as a kid, like always drawing or like being interested in the arts? And did it ever like click with you? Because for me, it didn't. Like I never thought, there's only like one Picasso and that's it. Like this is once in a lifetime person. Did you ever think like, this is like something I would like to be full time, but I don't know how that works? Or did you think, no, I have to get a real job, and if I'm lucky, I can do like art as a hobby?
Yes, it was kind of the last one because it's very difficult to live from being an artist. So as an economist, it was of course a very bad decision to become an artist. But I am lucky to be able to do this now.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you are because your work is beautiful. And do you find being from Norway, has being from that, like the country you were born in, impacted your work? Do you like find pieces of your culture in your paintings?
Well, I suppose nature is a very important thing in Norway. It's a big country and we have few people. And, most Norwegians tend to use a lot of time out in the nature to be active in nature, to go hiking, skiing, bicycling.
Oh wow, so that was like something you just grew up in, like going to nature, being in nature.
So I always found calm and and joy in being in nature. So that's probably why you can see that in
Yeah,
my paintings
absolutely.
as well.
And what kind of nature do you like? Like, do you like just like walking in the forest, hiking, or like something crazy like kayaking or mountain climbing? What does nature mean to you?
I like all kinds
All
of
kinds
nature.
of nature.
I do. So both the mountains and the sea and the
Mhm.
forest and
Oh, wow.
the meadows. I like it all.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. And then how many paintings have you created since you've been in this residency? Because it seems
Well,
like
I think I made 14 big ones.
14? Oh,
and
wow.
then some four or five smaller sketches.
Oh, wow. That is so
So
cool.
it's been a lot.
Yes, congratulations. You're very disciplined. I love it. And I like how it almost seems like all the paint, we're in her studio right now and I'm looking at her artwork. And it kind of seems like all of the paintings here are separate in their own, but they're almost like part of a family. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like they're related in a way, but they're so different in their each uniqueness. And I really love that.
I think I have to pick some of them for the reception. It's too crowded
Okay.
here now because they are hanging too close to each other.
Mhm.
But now I'm working on them, so they
Mm-hmm.
just need
No,
to
yeah, I
be-
see what you mean.
Just need to be surrounded by them to see what more to do
Yeah.
during the process.
So are you finished with the current paintings that you have in your studio right now, or will you be adding anything to it, or it's all ready?
No, most of them I think are finished, but I
Finished.
might add some things
Okay.
to some of them.
No, because I was going to say they look so beautiful.
Thank you.
They look really
Glad to
beautiful.
hear.
That's amazing. So how long has this residency been? Because I know it's like a summer residency. It's different from other ones.
Yes, it's only for July, so it's 1 month.
Oh, wow. And you
So,
did that many paintings in 1 month? Congratulations.
Well,
Wow.
it's actually been only 3 weeks now.
3
and
weeks?
This week is the last.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing that not only you created 14 pieces, large pieces of art, smaller ones, and also as you said you had the chance to like go in the art scene.
Yes,
And
we've been very active.
Yeah. I need to know what kind of coffee you're drinking because I want the same one, please. Or maybe it's a lot of Red Bulls. And how do you see like the art scene in Europe versus like in America? Do you see like any difference?
Well, yes, I see that the prices are much higher here
Yeah.
in the States than at
Mhm.
home. And, well, you know, New York is kind of the capital of art in the world, so you can, there's so much to see.
Yeah.
It's so big. There's
Yeah.
so many talented artists to
Yeah.
see.
And when you're like in museums or art galleries, are you like observing, like how do you take art? Like how do you see other people's artwork? Do you just like quickly look at it? Like do you want to know everything about it? Do you try to see like where they started painting, where they finished it? Or you just like how do you get inspired by other artists?
Well, when I see something I like, I can study it
Mhm.
and study the brush strokes, the compositions, the colors, taking some close-up photos to see what they've been doing. But when I see something I'm not interested, I
Mhm.
could
You
walk
just go-
quite quickly by and choose the ones I
love
really
that.
like.
And do you have like a favorite artist? Like when people ask you, like you're like, oh, this artist. Or do you have a few artists?
Yeah, well, maybe right now it's Helen Frankenthaler,
Mhm,
since
as you
that's
previously mentioned, yeah.
who I'm studying right now.
Mhm.
But as a Norwegian, I of course love Edvard Munch.
Oh, yeah. And do you also find inspiration in other fields of art, like music, fashion, or is your inspiration like mainly in the art world?
Well, mainly in the art world, but I also do some sculpturing.
Okay. Fabulous. And going back to when you're in the creative process, like in your studio, you mentioned you listen to jazz. Do you mind sharing with us like who your favorite albums or singers are that you're always listening to?
There are so many.
So many.
It's difficult to pick
it's
someone,
okay.
yeah.
It's okay. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about your work, like the description and more info?
Well, these nature abstractions, they, as I told you, they express atmospheres, and these
Mhm.
atmospheres can also be interpreted as personal moods.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
love
hope
that.
that's something people can feel when they see the
Yeah.
paintings.
No, absolutely. And just now that I'm here in your studio, once you're in nature, like, do you see your paintings like when you get inspired while you're in the moment? Do you see your paintings like finish right there and then? Or as you mentioned, it's just kind of like a journey that once you start, you don't know where it's going to take you.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
I live with my paintings on the wall for quite a long time, and they can maybe be hanging there for a month, and then I suddenly see I have to change these colors or this composition, and well, they're kind of maturing.
Yeah, no, I love that. And did you ever paint something that you didn't understand at the moment, but then maybe like weeks or months went by, you like reflected back and you're like, oh my gosh, what I was going through in my life makes so much sense in this painting? Did that ever happen to you?
Yes, that can happen, and I also feel I get influenced by the seasons. You know, when it's spring, it tends to be lighter colors. Winter, it tends to get darker colors. Even if I don't really think that much about it, it just happens.
And do you have a favorite season?
I like them all.
You like them all?
Yeah.
Do you ever notice like which season you're able to like create the most or have like the most amount of work done, or?
Well, that's probably the winter time, because
Winter.
then I have most time to do the paintings.
Yeah, and there's not much to do, so why not just create art, right?
Yeah, so it's cold outside and you have time to be inside to do the work. Yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Heidi, for being on the podcast. Thank you for having me. I know you have a reception Thursday, and I know you're super busy, so I really do appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, and I'm very grateful. Yeah, we'll definitely say follow Heidi. Do you want to share again your Instagram and we'll just share your website, whatever you're comfortable with, in case people want to double check.
Yeah, so I think the easiest would be to go to my
website,
HeidiKirkeby.no.
No, perfect. Thank you so much again, Heidi. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Tariq Talk. Follow Tariq Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.